2024. It was not a good year for the river tank. Cyanobacteria continued its relentless advance. It started to permeate every plant, every rock, and even the very air around. It was ultimately to bring about the demise of this tank. And to its end, there were indeed many good times where I could enjoy the power of that river and the vibrancy of its fish. Let's take a look back at that year. Getting new fish is always an exciting time for the hobbyist. The existing fish included a group of Burmese blue-light danios, a group of male white-carp minnows, plus a gold one, and the Venezuelan Corridora catfish. Okay. Bit cool, but courier was a bit late. Can't be helped. My dwarf rainbow fish. Dwarf neon rainbow fish. Water's a bit yucky. Yeah, a bit of colour there already. Bit of reflection. And hard to see on the camera, but 2 bronze catfish. I might just turn that light off and that'll let them settle in a bit quicker. So I need to let that water warm up because they're feeling a little bit cold. With their slender body, the dwarf neon rainbow fish, or praecox rainbow fish as they're sometimes called, were ideally suited for swift flowing water, and with their vivid colours soon became the highlight of the tank. For one of the bronze Corridoras and the Venezuelan Corridora, it was love at first sight, and they made many attempts at laying eggs, although I was unsuccessful in getting any to hatch. The left-hand side of the tank was a dirted substrate capped with sand, and looking back, I think this contributed to the algae problem. By now I was trying to reduce the amount of light each day, and I put black polythene on the back wall of the tank and on the side. As time moved on, I was becoming more concerned about the state of the driftwood. It was attracting algae and cyanobacteria. Hoping to extend its life, I later removed the wood and attempted to scrape off all the soft outer surface. After giving it a good clean, I returned it to the tank, but it was obvious that it was on its last legs. Well, this is the spot where I dug out the black algae, but as you can see, it's back along the glass and coming out of the sand. It's even growing in that corner. A fresh layer of sand had certainly tidied things up. Dirty stones, be gone. Not only were the stones swapped out, but also the piece of driftwood. The piece now in the tank was found on the beach by my wife, and it's probably a softwood. It is already starting to attract a lot of growth, although it has been in there for 1 month. With so much Java fern, there are plenty of places for the fish to spawn. I had a piece in the corner that I could lift out and put it into a grow out tank, and I'd normally score some fertile eggs. Overall, I've gained about 12 dwarf neon rainbows and a number of glow light danios. Not so lucky with the Kori catfish. It doesn't matter whether you pronounce it Cyanobacteria or Cyanobacteria or even cyanide. It's not something you want in your tank, and it's been progressing through every plant that I've got in there, so I've been pruning back fairly heavily, including the roots of the pothos in the corner, which was particularly bad. Even with regular water changes, I needed something else to renew my interest in the tank, and an impulse purchase did just that. Go again, double bagged, a bit hard to see, but there are 5 Borneo Sucker fish, similar to the Hillstream Loach. So they will also need to acclimatise. Right, so they're settled in and they're ready to be released. I've been in there for an extra 10 minutes with the double mix of water. Right. Ah, one got out. Where is it? Cheeky blighter. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the bag, and one that jumped out. It just goes to show how good they are at climbing out of the water. So I'm going to use a test strip. That's from the tank. This one from the bag. Okay, from just checking the results, well, really very close. I can't really notice much difference. Very pleased with that. So in preparation for the arrival of these Borneo Suckers, I've lowered the water level down because they are very good at climbing out of the water and getting out of the tank. I've just got the power heads turned off at the moment, and I see that a couple of them have found a stone which has plenty of growth on it. These other clean looking stones are fairly new additions because I've changed the smaller stones, which they're not so keen on, for these larger, I'll call them rocks. And I'll set those up so that there are cavities underneath some of those rocks because they do like to hide away. Also, to prevent them from getting outside, I've actually got a tank which has got a rim around it, and that will stop them getting out on all sides except for the ends between the lights. So if I just close in the light, I've got a piece of plastic profile, and I'll slide that in to the gap, and the actual glass lid will slide into that. So I've got that glass up fairly tight, and that really makes it very difficult for them to get out. Same thing at the other end. Now, just doing a bit of a test here. I've got this little container, and I've also got a glass bowl stuck on the side. Each has got a piece of sinking algae tab, and I'm just trying to see which one will stay in there the longest. I've tried different angles. The intention being is I want to provide a place for the Borneo Suckers to be able to get in to feed, but keep out the mob. Oh, I think I need to remove that piece of driftwood at the back. You can probably see, but right at the top there's a fresh outbreak of Cyanobacteria. Well, it stinks of cyano, and the wood is getting quite soft now, so it's starting to break down. It's no longer suitable for the aquarium. Might be okay for firewood. Well, the tank definitely needs something else in there. I'll have to see what I can do. A little bit worried about those two pieces of wood there, or three pieces. They probably own the same way. I'll just keep an eye on them for now. I'm no expert, but I do know that there are many varieties of Cyanobacteria. Some are quite benign in a an aquarium situation. Hillstream Loaches can munch away on it, no ill effects at all. But the other types, that are your worst possible enemy. And you no doubt hear about them when they bloom in a lake or a river, and fish die, bird life dies, dogs can die, and it can even kill humans. Now the type that I've got in this tank is one of the nasty types, because it absolutely stinks, and it's something you really don't want to live with. One of the symptoms of Cyanobacteria poisoning a fish is that it targets the nervous system, and your fish may display very erratic and sudden swimming behaviour, almost like it's having a fit. I decided that this project was at an end, and next morning I started deconstructing the river. I caught all 5 of the Borneo Sucker fish and placed them into my nano tank, which would become their new home. During the following week or so, I was able to teach them to take food from a glass container attached to the side of the tank. This would be good for their survival. And they continue to flourish. The other fish were caught and placed into a holding container while I decided which tank they would go into. All the plants from the river were discarded, although I did keep some of the rhizomes from the Java ferns, which I trimmed right back and superglued to stones. Hopefully these would come away again and I could use them elsewhere. The stonework would find a new home in the garden. The other wooden structures were too contaminated to be saved. It was just a matter now of taking out and discarding all of the rockwork. Thank you for your interest and being part of the journey. The river tank is no more.